no such thing as a true reality. There are only perceptions and opinions.
Professor, don't you think that there must be some absolute reality or, truth?
Why in the world would you say that? There are no absolutes that define reality. Everything is relative to something else. There can be no actual reality. There are ultimately no moral absolutes, and no authority for deciding if an action is positive or negative, right or wrong.
Are you absolutely sure of that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, sir, but if I may say so, that is self-contradictory. You've just made an absolute statement, and that must mean you believe in the existence of absolutes. And with all due respect, there's a second problem in your statement. All humans have limited knowledge and finite minds, so logically, it would be impossible for us to assuredly say there are no absolutes. In order to make such a conclusive and broad statement, one would need to have absolute knowledge of the entire universe from beginning to end.
Let's get back to the lesson, shall we? There are many values, beliefs, lifestyles, and truth claims. And because there is no absolute truth, all are equally valid.
I would like to propose the exact opposite, that there are absolute realities and standards that define what is true and what is not.
Such as?
Well, the first evidence for existence of absolute truth is science itself, as they are studying in the next building over from us. Science is the pursuit of knowledge, and all of scientific study is based upon the belief that there are objective realities in the world that can be discovered and proven. Without absolutes, what would there be to study? How could one know that the findings of science are real? The very laws of science are founded on the existence of absolute truth, which you claim doesn't exist. Also, there's the human conscience, that certain something in us that tells us that the world should be a certain way, or that some things are right and some are wrong. Our conscience tells us there is something wrong with suffering, racism, starvation, mass shootings, pain, and evil. It makes us aware that love, generosity, compassion, and peace are positive things. This is universally true in all cultures in all times. The Bible describes the human conscience like this: that people who do not have the law show that requirements of the law are written on their hearts. Their consciences are also bearing witness, and their thoughts now accusing, now even defending them. This will take place on the day when God will judge men's secrets through Jesus Christ, as my gospel declares. Romans 12, verses 14 through 16.
Let me stop you right there. Religion has no role to play in science, fact or truth.
Really? I think religion is totally germane to the subject of truth. All of the religions of the world attempt to give meaning and definition to life. Religion is born out of mankind's desire for something more than simple existence. In religion, humans seek God, hope for the future, and for forgiveness, peace, and answers to our deepest questions. Religion is actually an evidence that mankind is more than just a highly evolved animal. Religion itself is evidence of a higher purpose and existence of a creator who implanted in man the desire to know him. And if there is indeed a creator, then he becomes the standard for absolute truth. And it is his authority that establishes that truth. If there are no absolutes, chaos ensues. If the law of gravity were not an absolute, we wouldn't know where to stand or sit. If 2 + 2 didn't always equal 4, business would be impossible. If laws of math, science, and physics are absolute, why not moral truths? The notion of what might be right for you does not mean it is right for me may seem appealing, but in reality, it means everybody sets their own rules to live by. It's just a matter of time before one person's sense of right will conflict with someone else's. What happens if I decide it's right for me to ignore traffic signs, even when they are red? Or I might think it's right to steal from you when you might think it's wrong. If there is no standard of right and wrong we're all held accountable to, then we can never be sure of anything. There could be no laws or justice. A world without absolutes would be a horrible place to live.
Are you quite finished voicing your opinions to the class?
Not just yet. The denial of truth and the cultural relativism that comes with it are the logical result of embracing the theory of evolution as the explanation for life.
Oh, brother.
If naturalistic evolution is true, then life has no meaning, and we are free to live as we please and are accountable to no one. If we live out the evolutionary mindset to the fullest extent, we'll end up living in the world I just finished describing. Denying absolute truth fails to live up to what we know to be true in our own consciences, experiences, and what we see in the real world. If there is no absolute truth, then there is nothing ultimately right or wrong about anything. No matter how much men deny the existence of God and absolute truth, they still will someday stand before Him in judgment. The Bible declares that what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them, so that men are without excuse. For although they know God, they neither glorified Him as God nor gave thanks to Him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools.
It is unacceptable to bring the Bible into academic discussion. You can believe what you want, as long as you do not try to impose your beliefs on others.
But you see, Professor, you have just taken another self-contradictory position, a belief about what is right and wrong. You are setting up a standard of behavior and insisting others follow it, and you are trying to impose it on other people.
Get out! You'll be hearing from the Dean of Academic Affairs about attending mandatory sensitivity training.
Yes, the cardinal sin, intolerance, the belief in absolute truth. By the way, Professor, thank you for your tolerance of other beliefs. Even though I am not tolerated in that classroom any longer, I can confidently say there is a Creator, and He has revealed His truth to us through His Word, the Bible. We can know this absolute truth through a personal relationship with the one who claims to be the truth, Jesus Christ. And that is the absolute truth.